Welcome to UWS Weekly, a show that is dedicated to covering United Women's Soccer, a national pro-am league with your host, Jonathan Ward. Each and every week, we will highlight players, supporters, and staff of the clubs we all pride ourselves to support in North America. The UWS is a league that is committed to advancing women's soccer. Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to UWS Weekly, a show that is dedicated to the best pro-am community in North America and powered by Reboot. Reboot is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to help more kids play soccer while also creating opportunities to practice generosity, empathy, and leadership. Check them out at reboot.soccer today to find out more ways to help others and your community. Tonight, I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk to two awesome representatives from the newest club in United Women's Soccer, the Los Angeles Soccer Club. Joining me from the club this evening is head coach Esteban Chavez and GM Heather Fraschetti. Heather, Esteban, thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, hey, let's talk real quick. Heather, Esteban, you guys have both been in the game for a very long time. Heather, you were playing you've been playing soccer in the area of Los Angeles for quite a while. And Esteban, you've been playing soccer you've been part of the culture of soccer for almost 25 years. How did you both find love for the game?
Yeah, look, well, I'll start off. Obviously, as a player, I started when I was 4 years old, so had a passion for it. I love playing the game. It honestly really defines me as a person. You know, I ended up playing all through high school, right, and then played collegiate soccer, which, you know, if it wasn't for soccer, I probably wouldn't have gone to college, you know. But then from there, it all started off with me. You know, I needed a job when I was 19, and I started coaching girls high school soccer. To be honest with you, no business coaching at 19. I was so green in experience, right? So, and I just did it for a paycheck and ended up loving it. And to be honest with you, coaching girls is so different, right? I mean, to me, my opinion, for 26 years that I've been coaching girls, they want to get better. They want to learn. They ask questions. They pay attention to detail. So that's what made me fall in love with coaching girls in particular, to be honest with you. And I've been doing it for the last 26 years. Nice.
And Heather, what about you?
Pretty much the same like him. Soccer since I was 4 as a player. It just, for some reason, when I was a kid, it defined me. I decided that soccer was what I loved. It was all I wanted to do. And the opportunity to coach, when it came upon me, I just fell in love with it. And I finally decided I actually can do something with soccer and make it my life. So it's exciting. And now having a league like this, I'm so excited for all the girls.
So let's talk about this. You know, you guys are a big culture, big club in the Los Angeles area, but what interested you guys in bringing a club to the United Women's Soccer?
Look, I actually do love the whole thing when it's, you know, as far as the process. I love training, right? I love being part of that. So on the outside, during the summers, I train a lot of college girls, and we get to train, we get to practice. I try to do my best to try to help them get ready, fitness-wise, technically, tactically. So the missing part is being part of a league, having an actual team. So that's what excites me, is that now it's not just training and practicing. Now there's, you know, obviously you do it all for the game, right? So now being part of a league and having 8 to hopefully 10 games during that time period is what makes it the complete thing for us, right? So that's why I've always wanted to have whether it was the WPSL or whatever. I mean, obviously this league is the second highest in the country for what I hear. So now that's the missing part as far as the culture. Training people in May, June, and July. We never had games. It was just training a group of girls, right? So now we really have something to aspire for.
And Heather, as a GM, what is your responsibility, and why UWS? Why help bring more? Why are we doing this for the community of Los Angeles?
Growing up in an era where soccer was predominantly male sport, I mean, I look back to the 91 World Cup and it was like, oh my gosh, look at this opportunity. And, fast forward 30 years later, now soccer for women is changing. Now there really is an opportunity for females to go on and get to play professional soccer. I mean, gosh, what I would have done to have had that opportunity when I was that age. And so having a league like this where it's tangible now these kids that we're coaching, it's like, you can dream big. You can go on and play at this level. It's exciting. I'm excited to be a part of that.
So how soon are you guys looking to get started with the makeup of the roster, or has that been something that has been in the works since day one?
Yeah. To be honest, I already started, and I know it's not going to be easy. I mean, we have 5 months, I think, before the season really start. Even though there's a lot of players out there, that's right off the bat, I started making phone calls and connecting with college coaches, just to let them know the opportunity that some of their players could have. So that's the number one thing for me, and it's already in the works.
Heather, what about you? I mean, as the GM, what are you looking for in a player? Is there a particular attribute? Is there a characteristic that you're looking for as it relates to the players that are coming on board?
I mean, obviously we want to bring strong players, but we also want to bring players who are going to bring more to the culture of the club, of the league, and of the soccer community in general. We want these girls are going to be role models for all the younger generation. So we want them to take that seriously.
So I'm a Northern California kid. I'm up here in Roseville, California, outside Sacramento. How does soccer in Los Angeles differ from other parts of the country, or even perhaps Northern California?
Look, I'm just going to give you my opinion. It doesn't mean that it's the correct one. It's just what I've seen. So our population, right, of select, I mean, we have so much talent, so many players to pick from. We have so many clubs. We have so many teams. Where I think that it's really different is that we unfortunately have less space to work with, right? We have 3-4 teams per field. Up north, my experience is it's just different. That you get more of a field. So I think, and I don't know if I'm answering your question, but up north, tactically, they're ahead. Just because they have the field space, they have the room to work in that area. So that's where I see the biggest difference when it comes to the developmental part.
Heather, in your knowledge of the game and your experiences, how can your experience and your style help progress this to be one of, if not the top club in UWS and beyond?
I mean, I've been lucky enough to surround myself by so many people that I've been able to learn from. So obviously sharing that knowledge and just supporting our staff, supporting the youth. I'm not good with words, clearly.
All good. So the club's been around since 1951. And so how has the evolution of this club happened over the time to the point now where a women's club is a necessity for it?
Well, originally, obviously in 1951, the club formed with a small group of German immigrants, and they formed one very high level team. And at that time, it was a professional team that competed. And in the 1960s, they ended up winning 2 professional of the U.S. Open Cups, which at the time was the national championship in the United States. So they were the top team in the United States. Then in the 1970s, when the NASL formed, the unfortunate part for the club was that they didn't have the financial backing to be able to stay in that league. So at that point, it became an amateur club, and it's been an amateur club up until now. We bring in the youth program, which has been very strong. We have very many highly competitive, both girls and boys teams who have competed in national championships, players who've gone off to play in college. And so now it's the right time to start bringing this and entering into the next level and giving them that stepping stone to be professional.
So what is the overall mission of the club? Obviously, you talk about how in 1951, the immigration from Germany played a part in creating the club. Has the mission changed at all from the time it was incepted?
Yeah, well, because now that there's youth, right? All those other years, it's always been a men's club. So now we brought in youth. So obviously it does change as far as like what we're truly trying to do here. And it's trying to develop the total person. It's not just the game. I mean, obviously soccer is one of the priorities, and there's so many intangibles with that, but also to develop the complete person when it comes to having, core values, having integrity, being accountable and all that. So that's how it's different now in the last year, just because we added that youth.
So I have to ask, it's your inaugural year in UWS coming up. What's the expectation or the goal that you guys have set? I know you two have probably had conversations about what the goal is, but I'm curious to hear it.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, look, I'm going to be really honest with you. I mean, I know it's our first year, but there's a lot of quality players out there. So definitely to really compete at the level, that's going to be number one. As far as like the games being super competitive, the number one goal.
Lost him.
Oh, that's not me.
Okay. So Heather, what are the goals coming from your standpoint? What are your goals going forward for this year?
I think it's not just, I mean, obviously there's the component on the field, but there's also then going to be the community piece and how we can get the community to buy in. Oh, is that me or is that his feed?
Esteban's microphone.
Oh, okay. We want to get that community buy-in. We want the support from our community. We want the support from the youth, and getting our youth at the games, getting the youth to get excited about the program. Oh.
Let's see. His is still cutting out here. There we go. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, he got kicked out. So anyway, it's going to be a lot about getting the buy-in and getting the community on board and a part of it.
Sounds like a fair enough plan. Now, here's the major question. In your backyard of Los Angeles, just up the road in Santa Clarita, you have the UWS reigning national champions. How are you going to make sure or help ensure that you guys can be successful and potentially get players to create competition in a very strong Western Conference?
I mean, obviously there are so many strong players coming out of our club, players in the area. And we have a great coaching staff. Esteban's going to do a great job with that. And I think a lot of it too is we're going to want to emulate what has been done. And not necessarily separate ourselves, but try to live up to the standards that have already been created in this league.
So speaking of the league itself, what is going to separate your guys' club from the rest of the league?
I mean, I would have to reiterate, I don't know that we're necessarily trying to separate ourselves. It is about, living up to that standard and making sure that we are engaging the entire community to get behind us and get behind the program and the league. Oh, he's back.
All right, just check real quick. Esteban, are you there? Let's see. Still having some audio difficulties, it seems. Well, Heather, let's continue here with the
Sure.
next question. What does the future of the Los Angeles Soccer Club hold for soccer in the San Gabriel Valley as well as Los Angeles?
I think the big thing is going to be about opportunities. And I kind of spoke about this earlier, but it's so exciting for me for all the youth in the San Gabriel Valley that now they have something that they can look to, a future. Hey, maybe I'm a 10-year-old female soccer player and I want to play in college and I want to play professionally. We want to give that opportunity to these kids. And now it's something that they can actually dream about and see it right in front of them. And I'm excited for that. Gosh, I would love to be 10 years old again and have this opportunity and have the LA Soccer Club to look at.
Well, let's go back to 10-year-old Heather and see. Let me ask this question. You have this youth program that you guys have since developed. How is the youth program going to see this and potentially use it as a stepping stone to play for the UWS team once they're old enough?
I mean, and I think that goes back to the buy-in, making sure that these young girls are going to the games, they're familiar with the team, they're learning from the team. I'm a big fan of watching soccer. So now they have a team in their backyard that they can learn from by watching and know the players and dream that, hey, if I work hard and I put in the work ethic and I put in the extra time, this could be me when I'm old enough.
Fair enough. Esteban, are you back with us? Let's see. Let me try to see if I can fix his standing here. Esteban, are you there? Nothing yet. Let's see. All right, well, we'll continue, and if he can pop on with his audio, we'll make it work. So listen, Jake is one of our he's one of our longtime watchers of the show. He asks the question, what can the football community do to help your club launch or get off the ground? Obviously, it's off the ground and it's launched. It's been around since 1951. But what can the soccer community do to help the UWS side of things develop and get going?
I mean, I think support the girls, support the players. It's exciting for them. They're going to have this opportunity to play. Anyone in the San Gabriel Valley, we want to see you at the games, supporting the girls and making them experience what that feels like to be having a big fan base. I think that'll be huge, and that'll make it even more exciting for the future generations. And support the young kids that want to play. As a female, push your female athletes out there on the field and support them when they want to be on the field practicing 3 days a week, going to games on the weekends, even if it means driving a little bit.
So along with that question is, what impact do you think the organization is going to have? We already asked this as it related to your club, but local clubs. There's a handful of clubs that I know of in the Los Angeles area. But how is the organization going to? What impact is it going to have on local youth leagues and the communities that surround LASC?
I mean, I think it's the same thing. It's just seeing it, knowing that this team exists and seeing that if they work hard and they put in the effort, this could be their athletes in the future playing.
So, in terms of growth, what is your mindset? How is the club going to work with the community to become larger than life, essentially?
I mean, we want to partner up with the local leagues and the communities to make the sport better. Keep our women competing at the top level. So the United States is always winning the World Cup and being the best team out there on the women's side. So the more that we work with the community and the local leagues, the better we can be.
And my last question this evening is a question that I ask everybody, because part of what we do with this league is about community. Everything we do is community. Building our players, building our coaches, building our communities, essentially. What does community mean to you?
To me, it's something that a sense of belonging. A community is a safe space of people that feel like they belong. For me, the soccer community is a big area where I feel like I belong. And I think to feel safe, especially for female athletes now, to feel like they are just as important as male athletes, and having that sense of community to know that they are enough and they are supported and believed in.
So Heather, let's talk a little bit about time frame, right? You've got the league starting back up here in May. What's going to happen for LASC between now and kickoff at come May?
Obviously, it's going to be a lot of promoting, getting the community behind us. I know Esteban and will have a great training for the girls. They'll be training 3 days a week. Obviously, trying to build the strongest squad that we can put together, so when games start, we can represent the league well, and be another strong team added to this league that will not just have good athletes playing a good game of soccer, but also making sure that we are making our athletes that can be those role models for the kids, because hopefully that this league will be so much more in the lives of the youth.
And in terms of keeping up to date with everything and everything that is LASC, how can people follow you guys on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram? How can people make sure they're staying on top of the latest and greatest news coming out of LASC?
We do have Instagram, and our website is lasoccerclub.org. What is our handle on Instagram? I am not the best at
so the Instagram handle is I put it on the
Is
ticker.
it
So we're good.
oh, thank
So
you.
LA Soccer Club is
Good.
the Instagram handle, as is the same for Twitter. Heather, I had to throw that at you. I had to see how sharp we were with the social media game.
Wait,
but hey,
I'm learning it. I'm getting better at it. Isn't there supposed to be a pound sign?
there is, but
Or
not
is
for
it-
Instagram. You don't do that one for Instagram. You
excuse-
got to give them
that's
just
Twitter, right?
Yeah, just the Twitter, just the
Oh.
@ handle.
Okay.
Heather, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. I really look forward to coming down for a match for LASC and the Blue Heat come kickoff time here in May. And I look forward to having more conversations with you and your community as we get closer.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for
Awesome.
having us.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening for UWS Weekly. You can follow all things UWS and UWS2 on our social media pages and send your questions via direct message for future shows as well. Don't forget to join the Our Cup of Tea crew this Saturday morning. Thanks for watching, everyone, and cheers.
It's time for a dedicated women's league to fill the gap between college and professional soccer. A league that's committed to advancing women's soccer, focusing on the development of the female soccer player during the summer months, elevating the competition to help each player reach that next level, providing high-level soccer for collegiate players, aspiring and former professionals, and international stars, operating with professional standards because players and fans deserve an exceptional experience. Uniting players that inspire and are inspired. We are passionately growing the women's game. The future is bright for United Women's Soccer. It's time. Be part of the movement.